How long was this going on? And was there a conflict that you saw? Because I think your perspective is so important. A conflict between the people who are running the show and the family in terms of what's best for Wendy?
I don't think no one knew exactly to the extent how bad it was. I felt like people knew something was up with her, but they didn't really know. I knew it because I've been around it, you know. It's sad to see something like that happen to her. You know, she needs help.
It turns out there may have been a lot going on behind the scenes in Wendy Williams' life, things she kept hidden for years. But this latest situation involving Kevin Hunter might be the most shocking yet. Now, Wendy's first husband is speaking out, and he's not holding back. According to him, Kevin may have played a role in Wendy's health struggles from the very beginning. He claims Kevin allegedly supplied her with substances, despite knowing she had long battled addiction, suggesting it was a way to keep her under control. What makes this even more surprising is that Wendy's ex has stayed silent for years. Since their relationship ended, he hasn't said a word about her until now. But seeing how far things have fallen, he says he felt he had no choice but to speak out. Right now, Wendy is facing serious health challenges, along with a complicated guardianship situation. It's gotten to the point where fans are questioning whether she'll ever return to television. And this all traces back to around 2017, when viewers first noticed something was off during her on-air moments. At the time, Wendy revealed she had been battling Graves' disease, which affected her expressions and reactions. She also explained her weight loss, saying it was due to an alkaline diet she was following to improve her health. But with these new claims surfacing, the story feels far from over.
My thyroid, my hyperthyroid, is attached also to Graves' disease. Graves' disease squeezes the muscles behind your eyeballs. And so that's the reason for...
Williams said it was her viewers who convinced her to get checked out.
That is the eye thing that you all have been seeing. You caught it.
This announcement was serious, and while many people gave Wendy grace, something still didn't quite add up. Rumors had been circulating for years that she was struggling with substance abuse, with some describing her as a high-functioning addict who kept pushing through for the sake of her show and the people who depended on her. But in March 2019, everything changed. Wendy went public and admitted that her battle with addiction had spiraled out of control. She revealed that she was living in a sober house and attending daily meetings to confront her struggles head-on. Her life had shifted into a strict routine, with limited freedom, everything focused on getting herself back on track. It was a moment of honesty that shocked fans and confirmed what many had long suspected, but it also showed just how serious things had become behind the scenes.
For some time now, and even today and beyond, I have been living in a sober house. I am driven by my 24-hour sober coach back to a home, lights out by 10 p.m. So I go to my room and I stare at the ceiling and I fall asleep to wake up to come back here to see you. So that is my truth.
Fans who had followed Wendy long before her talk show days remembered something she had openly admitted back in 2003, her past struggle with cocaine. At the time, she repeatedly said she had fully recovered and moved on from that chapter of her life. That's why this news hit so hard. It wasn't just surprising, it was heartbreaking. Because for many, it felt like proof that Wendy may have been quietly battling these struggles all along, even while telling the world she was okay.
For me personally, this is not putting words in anybody who might be a substance abuser's mind, but I was raised better than that, and I never been arrested and wrecked my stellar radio career, and I never embarrassed my parents who are still married.
So it never really took off. It just threatened you.
It just threatened me. I never was broke off. I was always able to pay all of my bills and I lived a good life.
So here's it. You never hit a bottom.
Right.
And you saw it coming, and you were able to, whatever it is, God
Yeah.
stepped in, your own resources,
Well,
whatever it was, you were able to.
I wanted better for myself.
Things took an even darker turn when allegations surfaced that Wendy's inner circle, especially her ex-husband Kevin Hunter, may have made her situation worse. According to Bert, he and Wendy began dating in 1992 while she was working at 98.7 KISS FM. For the first couple of years, everything seemed normal. But as their relationship got more serious, he started noticing changes. Wendy never used substances around him. She was careful about that, but her personality would shift in ways that felt unsettling. At times, he said, it was like she became a completely different person. They married in 1994, and Bert tried to help her through those struggles. He claimed Wendy did make an effort to get better and showed signs of progress, but their marriage ended just a year later. Even after the divorce, he kept checking in from a distance, hoping she was on the right path. That all changed when Kevin entered the picture in the mid-90s. By 1997, he wasn't just Wendy's husband. He had become her manager, business partner, and a powerful force in both her career and personal life. Reports describe Kevin as strict and controlling, limiting who had access to Wendy and influencing how others perceived her. Over time, Wendy placed complete trust in him, especially as her talk show began to rise. But according to these claims, that trust may have been misplaced. There were whispers that Kevin's reputation and behavior discouraged business opportunities as people hesitated to deal with him directly. At the same time, concerns grew that he feared losing control if Wendy prioritized her career over their relationship. It's important to remember, before Kevin, Wendy was already driven and self-made. She worked her way through college, took low-paying radio jobs, and built her name in the industry on her own. Bert insists that she didn't start out dependent on Kevin. She had the upper hand early on. The most serious allegation, however, is that Kevin may have contributed to her relapse. People around Wendy reportedly saw signs of this dynamic, but felt powerless to speak up. One former team member, DJ Buff, later hinted at a toxic environment, saying many were afraid to say anything for fear of losing their jobs. He warned that the situation would end badly, and in many ways, it did. There were also rumors involving others in Kevin's circle, adding to the sense that Wendy was surrounded by people who didn't have her best interests at heart. Looking back, some believe this environment may explain why she stayed in the marriage despite reports of cheating and financial betrayal. In the end, the most painful part of the story is the realization that Wendy may have trusted the wrong person. And even as her health declined and new challenges emerged, one thing reportedly stayed clear in her mind: the betrayal and humiliation she endured.
My real name is Wendy Hunter. Yep. And I'm divorced.
Yes.
He's got no money. Yeah.
The internet hasn't held back either. Many people have strong opinions about Kevin and the role they believe he played in Wendy's downfall. Some feel he was a major factor, blaming him for allowing things to spiral while allegedly taking advantage of her behind the scenes. Critics describe him as selfish, unfaithful, and driven by control, saying he contributed to much of the pain and public humiliation Wendy endured. Even people who weren't longtime fans of Wendy have admitted that watching her go through this has been difficult. Seeing someone struggle so publicly, especially while dealing with serious health and emotional challenges, has struck a nerve with a lot of viewers. Now the conversation has shifted beyond just speculation. People are asking bigger questions about accountability, the people around her, and how things were allowed to get this far. But what do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. I'll see you in the next video.